Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the English Camp podcast. I am Adam, and today we are going to play with real phrasal verbs that people use all the time in daily life.
And I am Sarah. Before we start, take 1 second and hit subscribe or follow on your app. This small action helps the podcast grow and keeps you close to our new episodes.
Take a slow breath and relax your shoulders. You do not need to memorize 100 verbs today. Just listen, repeat some sentences, and imagine using them in your own life.
We will begin with 2 useful phrasal verbs with look for and look after. They look similar, but one is about searching and the other is about taking care of someone or something.
Imagine you are at home and you cannot find your keys. You move cushions, check your pockets, open drawers. You can say, I am looking for my keys. If you start a new job and need a place to live, you might say, I'm looking for an apartment near the office. In both cases, you are trying to find something.
Now, imagine your neighbors are traveling and they have a dog. You give it food, water, and walks. You are looking after the dog. You can say, I look after my neighbor's dog when they travel. In a family, an older sister might say, I sometimes look after my little brother after school. Here, you are not searching, you are caring.
Repeat with me. I am looking for my phone. Again, I am looking for my phone. Now the second one. I have to look after my little cousin today. One more time. I have to look after my little cousin today.
Now, let us move to a group of verbs about movement and transport. Drop off, get in, and head back. People use these when they talk about going places every day.
Drop off is when you take someone somewhere in a car and leave them there. You do not stay. You can say, I can drop you off at the station before work. Or, my friend dropped me off in front of the library and then went to the supermarket. It is a very common way to talk about car rides.
Get in is what you say when you enter the car or the taxi. A parent might say, get in the car, we're late. If it is raining, you can say, she got in quickly because it started to rain. You get in the car and later you get out of the car.
Head back is nice and visual. It means start going back to a place, usually home or a hotel. After a long day, you can say, let us head back home, I'm tired. On a trip, you might say, we headed back to the hotel after dinner.
Listen to this mini story with all 3. In the morning, my friend picked me up. I got in the car and he dropped me off at work. In the evening, I took the bus, walked a little, and finally headed back home. You can pause and repeat that whole part slowly.
Now we have 2 verbs about information and understanding, find out and figure out. They often appear together in real life.
Find out is when you discover new information. Maybe someone tells you. Maybe you read it. Maybe you hear it. You can say, I just found out my friend changed jobs. When you travel, you might say, we found out the museum was closed when we arrived. You didn't know before. You discovered it at that moment.
Figure out is when you think about a problem until you understand it. At first, nothing is clear. Then you try different ideas, and suddenly it makes sense. You can say, I finally figured out why my phone was not charging. At work, you might say, he needs to figure out how to use the new software.
Put them together in one sentence. I want to find out the answer, and I will try to figure it out on my own first. Try repeating that. I want to find out the answer, and I will try to figure it out on my own first.
Now let us look at a group about cleaning, order, and preparation. Put away, throw away, and set up. These are perfect for daily routine stories.
When you finish using something and return it to its place, you put it away. After dinner, you can say, I put away the dishes. With clothes, you might say, she put away her winter clothes when spring started. It's about making things tidy and organized.
Put away is different. When something is old, broken, or you don't need it, you throw it away. You put it in the trash. You can say, I threw away that old jacket. It was full of holes. Or, don't throw away those papers. I still need them.
Set up is when you prepare a system or a space so it's ready to use. With technology, you might say, I set up my new laptop last night. Now everything is ready. For a meeting, you can say, they set up the room with chairs, a projector, and some water. It's about arranging and preparing things.
Listen to this short evening story. I came home, put away my groceries, threw away the old food in the fridge, and then set up my desk for a quiet study session. This is a very natural way to describe a real evening.
Next come two very emotional phrasal verbs, give up and carry on. These are important for motivation, especially for language learning. Give up means stop trying. Carry on means continue.
Imagine you are learning English, and some days you feel tired and you think, maybe I should stop. You can tell yourself, no, I will not give up. I will carry on. In a story about sport, you might hear, he wanted to give up, but his coach told him to carry on, and he finally finished the race.
Say this with energy. I will not give up. I will carry on with my English. Again, a little stronger. I will not give up. I will carry on with my English. Keep that sentence in your pocket.
Now, one short verb for exercise, work out. When you go to the gym or do physical training, you work out. You can say, I work out 3 times a week, or she works out before work most days. It is simple but very common.
Repeat after me. I work out 3 times a week. One more time. I work out 3 times a week. You can also say, I'm trying to work out more often this year.
Now, let's move to creativity and conversation. Come up with, bring up, bring back, and bring over. All of them use bring or come, but the meanings are different.
When a new idea appears in your mind, you come up with it. In a team, you can say, we need to come up with a better plan. In a classroom, a teacher might say, she came up with a very interesting example. It always has this feeling of creating ideas.
Bring up is about conversation. When you start talking about a topic, you bring it up. You can say, he brought up an important question in the meeting. Or, please do not bring up that story again. It is embarrassing. Bring up means introduce a topic.
So in a work meeting, you might come up with an idea at home and then bring it up in front of your team. That is a very natural combination and very common in real life.
Bring back can be emotional. A song, a smell, or a photo can bring back memories. For example, this song brings back my university days, or that picture brings back a lot of memories from my childhood. It's like traveling in your mind to the past.
Bring over is more physical. When you visit a friend and take something with you, you bring it over. You can say, I will bring over some snacks later. Or, he brought over his laptop so we could study together. It sounds physical and practical.
So in a work meeting, you might come up with an idea at home and then bring it up in front of your team. That is a very natural combination and very common in real life.
Bring back can be emotional. A song, a smell, or a photo can bring back memories. For example, this song brings back my university days, or that picture brings back a lot of memories from my childhood. It is like traveling in your mind to the past.
Bring over is more physical. When you visit a friend and take something with you, you bring it over. You can say, I will bring over some snacks later. Or, he brought over his laptop so we could study together. It sounds physical and practical.
Listen to this little story with all of them. Yesterday, I came up with a new idea for my English study plan. Today, I want to bring it up in my online class. When I listen to English songs, they bring back a lot of memories. And sometimes I invite a friend and he brings over his notebook so we can work together.
Now let us talk about events and meetings with two phrasal verbs, call off and kick off. Call off is when you cancel something. Kick off is when something starts.
Imagine there's a football game. If there's heavy rain, they might call off the match. That means cancel it. You can say, they called off the game because of the weather. Or, the meeting was called off at the last minute.
Kick off is the opposite feeling. When something officially starts, it kicks off. You can say, the concert kicked off in the evening. Or, they kicked off the meeting with a short introduction. It sounds active and energetic.
So, in a company, you might hear, the event will kick off on Friday morning, and we will only call it off if there is a serious problem. This is very natural business English.
Next, we have verbs about relationships and contact. Catch up and get along. These are great for talking about friends and family.
Catch up is when you meet someone after a long time and you share news. You can say, let's catch up this weekend. Or, we finally met and we caught up for hours. It's very friendly and relaxed.
Get along is about the quality of the relationship. When you get along with someone, you have a good connection. You don't fight, you feel comfortable. You can say, we get along really well. Or, she does not get along with her neighbors.
Listen to this pair. I had coffee with an old friend last week. We caught up on everything, and I was happy that we still get along so well. This is exactly how people talk about old friendships. Now, a few short but powerful verbs for small daily moments. Come in and hold on. Come in is what you say when someone is at the door. You can say, come in, the door is open. Or, the teacher came in a bit late today.
Hold on is what you say when you want someone to wait for a moment. On the phone, you might say, hold on a second, I need to check something. In person, you can say, hold on, I'll be right back. It sounds friendly but clear.
Imagine a simple situation. There's a knock on the door. You shout, come in, and your friend walks in. Your phone rings, and you say, hold on to your friend. Then you answer the call. These are small moments, but they are full of real English.
Before we pause this part of the episode, let us quickly visit 3 more useful verbs: cut back, close down, and leave out. Plus 1 about trust, count on.
Cut back means reduce. You can cut back on money, food, time. You can say, I'm trying to cut back on sugar. Or, they cut back on travel costs this year. Close down is when a business stops completely. You can say, the old cinema closed down last year.
Leave out means not include. In a story, you might say, she left out an important detail. With people, you can say, I don't want to leave anyone out of the invitation list. Count on is the opposite feeling. When you trust someone to help you, you count on them. You can say, you can count on me, or we count on our team to finish this project.
Put them together in one short picture. The company had to cut back on costs for months, and finally they closed down the small office, but the manager didn't leave anyone out and found new positions for them in other departments. The team knew they could count on her.
You have already met a lot of phrasal verbs in this first part. Don't worry if you can't remember all of them. You can listen again, write down a few that you like, and start using them in short sentences about your own life. That's how they slowly become part of your natural English.
Listen to this small story. I came across an old message from a friend and it brought back memories. We had a big fight, but in the end we got over it and ended up closer than before. You can pause and repeat it slowly if you like.
Now, let us look at phrasal verbs for life stages and time. Grow up, go back, and settle down. These are very common in personal stories.
Grow up is about your childhood and teenage years. You can say, I grew up in a small town, or she grew up in a big family. People often ask, where did you grow up? Because it tells a lot about your background.
Go back is what you say when you return to a place or a topic. With places, you can say, I want to go back to Italy one day. With topics, you can say, let us go back to what you said earlier. It is simple, but very useful.
Settle down is about becoming more stable in life, usually with a home, maybe a family, and more routine. Someone might say, I do not want to settle down yet. I still want to travel. Or, after many years of moving around, they finally settled down in Canada.
You can combine them like this. I grew up in a small city, but later I moved to many places. Now I want to go back there and maybe settle down near my family. This is a very natural way to talk about life plans.
Next, we have a group for looking and thinking about places, look around, look back, and look for, which you already know. These three often appear together.
Look around is what you do when you explore a space. In a shop, you might say, I'm just looking around, thanks. In a new city, you can say, we spent the afternoon looking around the old town. You are moving your eyes and maybe your body to see what is there.
Look back is more emotional. It's about thinking about the past. You can say, when I look back on my school days, I smile. Or, she looked back on her first job and realized she learned a lot. It has this feeling of reflection.
So you can say, I looked around the city where I grew up and I started to look back on my childhood. A nice combination of place and memory in one sentence.
Now we move to communication, stories, and mistakes with make up, mix up, talk back, and speak up. These are powerful for social situations.
Make-up has a few meanings, but here we focus on two very common ones. One meaning is invent a story. You can say, he made up an excuse for being late. Another meaning is become friends again after a fight. You can say, they argued yesterday, but they made up this morning.
Mix-up is when you confuse two things. At work, you might say, I mixed up the dates of the meeting. With people, you can say, I always mix those two actors up. It means your brain puts things in the wrong place.
Talk back is when someone answers in a rude way, usually to a parent or a teacher. You can say, he got in trouble for talking back to the teacher. It has a negative feeling. You would tell a child, don't talk back, please.
Speak up is more positive. It means talk louder or share your opinion. If someone talks very quietly, you can say, "Can you speak up? I cannot hear you." In a meeting, you might say, "You should speak up if something is not clear." It has a feeling of confidence.
So, imagine this short scene. A teenager talks back to his parents and later has to apologize. They make up, and he promises to speak up politely next time instead of shouting. There's a lot of emotion inside these small verbs.
Next, we go to clothes and objects with try on, pick out, and take away, plus a little emotional verb, tear up. These are perfect for shopping and feelings.
Try on is what you do with clothes before you buy them. In a shop, you say, "I would like to try this on." At home, you might say, "She spent an hour trying on different outfits." It's all about testing clothes on your body.
Pick out means choose something from a group. In a store, you might say, "It took me a long time to pick out a pair of shoes." With colors, you can say, "He picked out a nice blue for the walls." You look at options and select one.
Take away has a few meanings, but here think of removing or taking something with you. In a classroom, the teacher might say, "Please take away your books when you finish." With food, you can say, "We ordered pizza to take away," which means you don't eat it in the restaurant, you carry it home.
Tear up is when your eyes fill with tears, usually because of strong emotion, not always from crying loudly. You can say, "She teared up when she saw her old school," or "I always tear up at the end of that movie." It suggests a soft, emotional reaction.
Here's a little story. I went to a shop to pick out a suit. I tried on 3 different ones and finally chose one. When I wore it to visit my grandparents, my grandfather teared up a little bit. And when we left the restaurant, we took away the last slice of cake. Many verbs, but a very normal day.
Now a group for lights, machines, and energy. Switch on, switch off, turn up, slow down, and use up. These are very helpful at home, in cars, and in conversations about time.
Switch on means start a machine or light. Switch off means stop it. You can say, "Please switch off the lights when you leave." Or, "She switched on the fan because it was hot." They sound a bit more formal than turn on and turn off, but they are very common.
Turn up has 2 useful meanings. One is appear. You can say, "He always turns up late to meetings." Another is increase volume or level. You can say, "Can you turn up the music a little?" The opposite is turn down, but in our list we focus on turn up.
Slow down is what you say when someone or something is going too fast. In a car, you might say, "Slow down, the road is wet." In life, you can say, "I need to slow down. I'm doing too many things." It's useful for both physical speed and lifestyle.
Try this mini picture. I switched off my laptop and noticed how tired I was. I realized I had used up my energy, so I decided to slow down, make some tea, and not turn up the volume of my day again until tomorrow. A little poetic, but still real.
Now for people, relationships, and behavior, we have show off, split up, stick to, stick with, talk back, which we had, and work on. These verbs help you describe character and long-term habits.
Show off is when someone tries to get a lot of attention by showing their skills or things. You can say, "He likes to show off his new phone," or "She was showing off in front of her friends." Sometimes it sounds negative if it's too much.
Split up is when a couple or a group separates. You might hear,
they split up after 10 years of marriage, or the band split up last year. It has a strong emotional feeling when it is about relationships.
Stick to means continue with something and not change it. You can say, I am trying to stick to my study plan, or we should stick to the original idea. It sounds serious and steady. Stick with is similar, but more about staying with a person, activity, or thing. You can say, stick with it, you are improving. Or, I think I will stick with this teacher, she explains things clearly.
Work on means spend time improving something. You can work on your English, your health, your confidence. You can say, I am working on my pronunciation. Or, he needs to work on his time management. It sounds active and positive.
You can put these into one short life story. After they split up, he decided not to show off anymore and just work on himself quietly. He made a simple plan and tried to stick to it, and his friends told him to stick with his new habits because they were good for him. This is very natural modern English.
Now we go to health, surprise, and danger with pass out, run into, and shut down. These verbs are strong, and you will hear them a lot in movies and stories.
Pass out means faint, lose consciousness for a short time. You can say, it was so hot that one of the players passed out. Or, she almost passed out when she saw the bill. It suggests something sudden.
Run into is what you say when you meet someone by chance, not planned. For example, I ran into my old teacher at the supermarket. It can also mean hit something with a car, but the friendly meaning is more common in daily conversations.
Shut down is similar to close down, but we use it for machines, systems, and sometimes for parts of a company. You can say, I shut down my computer every night, or they shut down the website for maintenance. With people, you can also say, he shut down during the conversation, meaning he stopped talking and sharing.
So you might say, I ran into an old friend in town. We talked for a few minutes, but then I felt strange and almost passed out. So I went home, shut down my laptop, and rested. Even short lines like this use many phrasal verbs.
We are almost at the end of our list, so let us add some travel and joining verbs. Check in, sign up, step down, bring in, and clear up.
Check-in is what you do at a hotel or at the airport desk. You can say, we checked in at the hotel at 3 o'clock. Online, you also check in for a flight. It means register your arrival or your place.
Sign up is when you join a course, a service, or an activity. You can say, I signed up for an online English class, or she signed up for the gym near her house. It has a feeling of starting something new.
Step down means leave a position of power, often in a company or a government. You can say, the director decided to step down after many years. Step up is the opposite feeling. It means take more responsibility or act more strongly. For example, when the manager left, the team stepped up and handled everything. Or, we need someone to step up and lead this project.
Bring in is used when you introduce something, like a rule, a person, or money. A company might bring in new rules or a new manager. You can say, they brought in a new policy about working from home. With money, you can say, the project brought in a lot of sales last year.
Clear up is when you make a place or a situation clean or more understandable. With a room, you can say, we need to clear up this mess. With information, you can say, let me clear up this misunderstanding. After that, things look better or feel clearer.
So here is a small work story. The old manager decided to step down, and the company brought in someone new. At first, there was some confusion, but she signed up for extra meetings, stepped up, cleared up the problems, and started to bring in more clients. This is full of natural business English.
Finally, we close the list with two very practical study verbs, write down and log in and log out. These are perfect for your English routine.
Write down is what you do when you take notes with a pen or on your phone. You can say, I write down new words in a notebook. Or, he wrote down the address so he would not forget it. It's a simple but powerful habit for learning.
Log in is when you enter your name and password to access a website or app. Log out is when you close your session. You might say, I log in to my email every morning, and I always log out when I use a public computer. These two are everywhere in modern life.
And now imagine this simple daily routine. You log in to your favorite English site, listen to a short podcast, write down 3 new phrasal verbs, then log out and carry on with your day. If you repeat that many times, your English will grow step by step.
You have now walked through our big collection of phrasal verbs with stories, examples, and simple explanations. Don't feel pressure to remember all of them right now. Choose a few that feel useful, write them down, and work on using them in small sentences about your own life.
Take a slow breath and relax your shoulders for a moment. You spent good, focused time on your English today. That's something many people talk about, but you actually did it. If you enjoyed this episode, you can sign up or subscribe and maybe leave a short comment with 1 or 2 sentences using some of these phrasal verbs.
We will keep bringing in more real-life English for you in future episodes, so stick with us, don't give up, and remember that you can always count on yourself more than you think. Thank you for listening, take good care of yourself, and we'll talk to you in the next episode of the English Camp podcast.